We're live.
We're live. Hi, it's Yvonne McCoy,
And Andrea Stenberg.
and we are two of the three people that make up the Marketing University 101 team. And so we want to welcome you to 5 Secrets to Playing to Win, how to be bold, confident, successful in your marketing business. And, one of the reasons we're not going to do a full hangout as we had planned because one of our key person had a family emergency, and we would just be lacking without her. So we want to kind of give you an overview, but that's one of the reasons that it's great to be with the team. Andrea, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Okay. As I said, I'm Andrea Stenberg. In my other online persona, I'm known as the baby boomer entrepreneur, and I play in the social media field, helping small business owners use tools like Google Plus Hangouts or Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter to get new clients. And I'm really excited to be part of this Marketing University team because as a solopreneur, it's nice to not have everything on my shoulders. It's nice to have a team of people with different skill sets and expertise. And it's really great to be able to bring all our skills together to offer to people. So that's me.
And I'm Yvonne McCoy. I coach entrepreneurs and nonprofits and try to help them to come, be able to really fulfill their mission and work in a way that really is their style so they can do the kind of work that they want to do. And probably the person that's missing is Carlene Kelsey, and she is the person that knows all of the different she is a virtual assistant, but she is also incredible at marketing, and she knows all the tools and stuff. So part of what we want to be able to do for you is bring you tools and easy expertise to market your business. Because as Andrea said, as a solopreneur, sometimes it's really hard to do because you're spending all your time in your business, and the thing that's going to build your business is the marketing so that you get new business. And sometimes we neglect that. So I just want to give you a little bit of a story about how we came up with this hangout that we're only going to do an overview of. I saw an article that talked about the 5 levels of commitment. And it was really, to put it mildly, a kick in the butt when I looked at it, especially when I started thinking about my marketing. And the first level was playing not to lose, and basically it said, I better perform or I'm going to be in trouble. And the second one was playing to cruise. As long as I continue to perform, I could cruise. And I was like, oh my God, I'm kind of in between these two things. I'm doing the minimum that I absolutely have to do, but I'm not doing anything that I should be doing to really grow my business and really have an online presence. And so there are a couple of things I think that's important that we're all faced with. One was that this was really a reality check for me. Where am I and what do I need to change? And then the second part was, how do I do it? How do I get the information that I need? Because obviously I was avoiding it. So Andrea, when you heard about the levels, what was your first thought?
Well, my first thought was how I think in my experience, sometimes I kind of go up and down between the levels depending on what's happening in my business and what's happening in my life. And I suspect from talking to people that that happens to a lot of people is you kind of move up and down the levels. It's, we're not always just going on a straight line going up. And I also found it sort of uh, a little bit freeing to realize, okay, this is a process that we all go through, and it's okay if we're not, right at the top doing everything perfectly all the time. And so, that's kind of what I took away from it.
And what about your clients? Do you find that you have clients that are in these two categories?
Oh, absolutely. The playing not to lose, particularly I think sometimes when people are just starting their business and they're kind of nervous, and so they're worried about making a mistake, so they are really timid in their actions, and that I think is the playing not to lose phase, and a lot lot of us go through that phase. It's just, I think it's a natural course of development is as you gain confidence in your business, you can step out of that. But it's not really a pleasant place to be. I can certainly remember when I was in that spot.
Well, I think, one of the things I think we were both made really aware of is that a change in your whole attitude towards marketing can really grow your business. I mean, most of us, our business is based on the product or the service, and that's what we're into. That's what we're busy with. And the marketing seems like it's just an extra added thing, or something that we have to do. And so it's really important that you have this mindset that that the marketing is as important sometimes as the service that you're delivering, because otherwise you never have anybody in the pipeline, and you're always trying to do that. The other thing I think that's really important is, we change for two basic reasons. One is pain and one is pleasure. So, it may be pain that makes you listen to this, like I'm not doing what I should be doing. But as you start to grow in your business and you start to see the results, the pleasure and the fact that your marketing is working is the thing that's going to keep you growing and keep you going, I think. Especially when there's someone out there who can make it easy for you. And we think marketing, one of our basic things with Marketing University 101 is that we want to make it easy and as inexpensive for you to use different tools as possible. So when we tell you about how to do something, we show you free options that you can do and also options that you can pay for as you grow. And I think that's important when you're starting out.
Absolutely, because when you're first starting a business, there's so many expenses, and a lot of the expenses are things that you didn't think about or didn't even know about before you started your business. And so any opportunity to save money in the beginning is really important. But as you grow and as your business becomes more successful, sometimes you have to expand into some of those paid tools just because they're going to save you time or have more bells and whistles and do more of the things you need. So it's really great to have these options to choose depending on where you are in your business and whether you have more money or more time.
And let me just throw this in too, because sometimes it's not just a matter of money. You may actually have the money to try all the bells and the whistles, but how many things have you bought and not really gotten into it and not used? And I know that we're both have had that experience. And so the idea of being able to show you some things that you can try on and see whether it really fits your kind of personality, whether it's something that you would continue to use, I think is really important, because the maybe the most important thing that I've learned from Andrea is to pick marketing strategies that I will continue to do. She's really good at helping people to do that. And I'll tell a little story, because I will admit that I have to really put myself on a schedule to do social media and that type of thing. And she asked me, she said, we were talking about my radio show that I have, and she said, you've been doing this for like 3 or 4 years. Why do you keep doing this? And I said, I do it because I feel like I have information to share, that it's not about me. It's about the information that I can share. And so for me, that was a real turning point in terms of social media, that I realized, I didn't have to Twitter or put things on Facebook like, look at the restaurant I went to, look at the, because I don't think people really care. But if I have information about marketing or time management or some of the other things that I do with my client, I feel that's really valuable, and that's something that I find useful to put on social media. So let's just very quickly do the other three steps that we talked about. So as a quick review, it's really easy to play not to lose, which is where you're in a situation where you're just performing, you feel like I have to do it or I'm going to be in trouble or something bad's going to happen. Or playing to cruise, and that just means I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, but I'm not doing anything better or I'm not doing anything new. So do you want to talk about playing to improve?
Playing to improve, I think, is the real turning point in your business. That's when you're starting to get outside of your comfort zone and take some risks, and you're really starting to learn new things and try new things. And I think Yvonne, you talked about how we do things either to avoid pain or to get pleasure. And I think when you hit that playing to improve spot, I think that's when you're starting to leave the I'm trying to avoid pain and you're starting to get into the pleasure of seeing the successes. So you're maybe not at your end goal of where you want to be, but you're starting to see some successes and you're starting to spread your wings a little bit. And so I think the playing to improve is the first place in these 5 steps where you're starting to have it's starting to have a little bit more fun. I think this is a much more pleasant place to be in than in the playing not to lose or even the playing to cruise uh, phase in these stages.
And I think at this point there's something that maybe triggers your belief to change, um, that changes your thought process, that helps you to, um, kind of get off your duff and say, and it could be as simple as someone saying, you're really good at this. You should let other people know. It could be something as simple as that you did something, a teleseminar, a webinar or something like that, and had really good response. And you start to really see that what you have to offer really has value and that people are really interested in it. And so I think part of the shift in the process is I'm doing others a disservice by not getting my information out there or getting my service out there. So this, I think, is the 5 steps is where you start to really do that belief turnaround.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I think sometimes it comes from when you start seeing yourself, the successes you're having, because I think when you're at the playing to lose phase, sometimes you have a doubt that what you have to offer is worth people paying money for. But once you start seeing that people are appreciative of what you have to offer and that they're happy with the results they've got, that it gives you the confidence to take that step. So sometimes it's somebody pointing out something to you, or sometimes it's just you starting to have your own confidence that you actually should be in business and that you are good enough to accept money for what you're being paid for. And once you feel that confidence, it's a lot easier to market yourself. If you don't quite believe what you're offering is worth money, then it's hard to market because you sort of feel like a fraud. But when you have that confidence, like, yeah, I'm good enough, then it becomes more comfortable.
And I think that takes you right into the next thing of playing to compete, because you start to realize that you can be the best in your area, that you have something to offer that other people don't have. And it's like the more success you have, the more it expands that belief system. And I think that the weakness to this being in this place is that it's kind of driven by you. In other words, as the performer, as the person who delivers the service, it's totally based on what you can do and how people feel about you. At least that's the way you're thinking about it. And I think even though you're becoming much stronger in your vision and your mission of the services that you provide, the weakness is there's always that room for that doubt. Like, what if I'm not the best? What if I, don't do a good job? And so playing to compete is a really important step that you have to go to, thinking that you can be the best at what you do, right? And when I say that, to phrase it a little bit differently, I think what I'm really saying there is that you have something unique to offer that somebody else doesn't. I mean, I know that there have been times when I've questioned myself and said, well, why would somebody come to me when I've heard almost, the exact same thing from somebody else? But what I realize is, and this is just a real, it's just a saying, is that when you're ready, the person that you need will be there. And so I've heard people describe change, I don't know how many different times, but it wasn't until I was ready to really understand it that I could hear it. And so I think it's really important that there may be lots of people that may have the basic foundation, are giving the same basic foundations that you are, but you don't have to be the person for everybody in the world. You only need a select few um, to make your business grow. And so it's that uniqueness, that little piece that's very different. I mean, one of the things that I say about myself is that I try to do coaching and be very practical, so that when you come out of a coaching session, I haven't left you with a lot of questions. You've actually had to have an action plan. You know what you're going to do, and you know how you're going to do it. And I try to do it with a sense of humor. So that's, a piece of my uniqueness that separates me, I think, from other coaches. Okay, not all of them, but you add all those little pieces, and suddenly you get something that's totally and uniquely you.
Yeah, it's your it's as much your personality and your view of the world and your own little twist that you put on things as much as the actual product or service you deliver. And I mean, we all know we've done business with somebody, or you go to one doctor, and maybe all the doctors have the same training, the same skills, but one doctor you can't stand and another doctor you feel really comfortable and you trust, and it's about personality as much as your skill set. And when you get to this phase, playing to compete, you're starting to really believe that you have the abilities to be as good as other people. And it's kind of a revelation sometimes when you first feel like that. I remember for a long time I questioned my abilities to teach other people, because I had exactly that same thing. Like, what do I have to offer that's better than this person? And I remember attending a workshop that somebody else had put on, and I remember thinking partway through it, I could do just as well as this. And it was like this light bulb went off in my head, and I was just like, oh my goodness, like, really, I could really do this. I can really make a business out of this. And so it's, I mean, you're right, it is sort of all about you, but I think you have to get to that point before you can go past it. You can't skip it.
Right. And I think the other part to that is that when you are at that point, to get to that point, you have to pick marketing strategies that you enjoy doing, because otherwise you're not going to do them on a regular basis if you don't. And continuity is one of the biggest pieces to success, whether it's marketing or weight loss or anything that you do. It's not that there's a magic bullet that you do it once and great. It's something that you have to do over and over again. And so that part is really important. And the last step is the step that we all want to get to, which is playing to win. And really, this is just a huge attitude shift in a lot of cases. It means that you are fearless and that you're not afraid of failing, that it's okay that you see when you fail, it's really only an opportunity to learn and to grow. And the only person that you're really competing with is yourself. How can I get better? You're not afraid because it's not possible for you to lose. And I think that that's a wonderful place to be, where you can take away the fear. You can use everything as an opportunity to be the best that you possibly could be. And, you don't have to be, I think, afraid. You know that you can learn and you can grow, and that's how you're going to win.
And I just want to say, when we talk about playing to win, it's not in a win-lose situation where I succeed so somebody else fails. It's not like a soccer match. It's really, as you said, Yvonne, about competing with yourself and how can you improve, how can get better, how can you try new things. And really, when you're at this stage, there are no competitors, because what you have is unique, and the people who are meant to work with you, they're the ones who are going to find you. And there may be other people who do exactly the same thing, but they'll have their own tribe or their own niche that goes to them. And so it really is, when you get to this playing to win phase, it really is I think it's kind of a liberating place to be. And then going back to that concept of fleeing from pain or moving towards pleasure, when you're at the playing to win, you really aren't worrying about the pain anymore. You really are looking at the pleasure of doing better and learning new things, and doing all the things that you want to do in your business. So this is the place you definitely want to be, and it's not just about the money. It really is about how great you feel when you're playing to win.
And here's the other thing I think that's really important is that one of the big shifts that comes into this is that I think your business is more spirit driven, and when I say that, I mean you're more vision and mission driven. If you set out to help a certain group of the market, it's really about what can I do to help them. And when you do help other people, you are going to make money. So it definitely is a win-win. It's a win-win for you, and it's a win-win for the people that you're servicing. And to be able to do that from a place of passion about what you're doing and not from fear is a wonderful way to approach it, and to have a marketing strategy that you actually reflects who you are and the way you want to be and the way you want to be seen in the world is a really big part of that. So I don't know where you think you are. As Andrea said, depending on the project or what's going on, you could be at a lot of different places at once. But I know that the end is that you want to be playing to win. You want to be out there, and you want people to think of you as a person who can help them and to move their life forward. And I think for me, it's really important for me to let people know that I've made mistakes, that I'm not perfect. But what I've learned from those things are things that I can share with other people who are doing the same thing. So I think the playing to win is a wonderful place to be, that when things don't go right, that you can learn from that, and there's an opportunity there, and you know that there are other people who are going through the same thing that you could help them with.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to what you said about the marketing, is when you get to the playing to win phase, like marketing doesn't feel like a chore anymore. It's just kind of more just a part of what you do every day, along with working with your clients, or delivering your services to people. So yeah, it's definitely part of the change in your mindset, and it really does. We all are going to get there eventually if we're persistent, and we keep working at it and keep trying to grow.
So the final thing that I want to say is every action is a choice, and you have a choice. So we're going to give you a couple choices that you could do. The first one is that you can do nothing, and we hope that that's not the choice that you make, because if you're not growing, you're stagnating. The second choice is, Andrea.
Well, what we would really love you to do for your second choice is go to our Facebook page and post a question about marketing or running a business that we can then answer on our next Hangout, because we are going to be doing more of these. And so if you haven't been to our Facebook page yet, it's facebook.com/marketinguniversity101, all one word, and just post a question there about something that you want to know about in your business, something that you need more information on, so that we can provide a hangout that answers your questions and meets your needs.
The other thing is, if you go to the Facebook, you'll see when we're going to reschedule the full hangout on this, probably in July. So again, what we've done is we've presented you with some information, and the question is, how are you going to use it? How much effort are you willing to put into this? And so I would say, if you take a minute and see what you walked away with, and see how you can do something differently tomorrow. Whether it's to take a look at, just figure out where your business is so you can evaluate where you need to go, whether it is, and of course, going to our Facebook page is definitely a good start. And start to come up with a plan for yourself to get yourself to competing to win. So, Andre, any final words?
Well, I just wanted to say that if you're not at the playing to win, if you're and particularly if you're at the playing not to lose phase, is reach out to somebody to get help to move forward, because I remember way back when I first started my business, I had this idea in my head that I had to do it all myself, and that if I had to ask for help in any way, shape, or form, that meant it was a failure, because I kind of bought into this idea of, like the self-made millionaire crap. But if you talk to anybody who's successful along the way, they've all had mentors, they've all had coaches, they've all had support networks. Uh, Anybody who's successful has had a ton of people that's helped them along the way. And so, whether it's going to our Facebook page and posting a question, sending us a message, or calling up a friend, do something to get yourself the support you need so that you can start moving forward to the next level.
Okay, you don't happen to have the link for our time management, do you?
Not in front of me, but I will post it on the Facebook page so
Okay.
that people can find that.
And we have a special offer. We've discounted it at $7, but it's how to gain 2 hours a day for marketing and fun. And it has some really good ways that you can carve out time to marketing if that's part of what your problem is. The situation is that you never seem to be able to find time, because what happens is we put our marketing off to the end of the day and then we never get to it. So you have a couple of different steps. Think about where you are in your business. Go to the Facebook, post a question, and hopefully we can answer it for you and help move you further along. And then there'll be the $7 offer for how to gain 2 hours a day for marketing and fun. This has been really fun for us, and so we're really glad that you came. And when you hang up, I hope you take some next steps. So this is Yvonne McCoy saying goodbye.
And this is Andrea Stenberg saying see you on our Facebook page.
All right. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.